How I found a £250,000 client and how you can too. I feel like the phrase find your dream client is thrown around a little bit too much by business gurus teaching you how to grow your business. Even though I think the statement's overused, I think the teachings is actually very important to get very specific and dialed in who is it I want to work with. The last thing we want to do is build a business and work with clients that we don't enjoy working with every day. I want to work with clients that I jump out of bed to serve. And I know this because I've been on both ends of the scale, working with nightmare clients and then working with my dream clients. Over the 7 years of running my home staging business, I've managed to secure some of my dream 100 clients, one in particular whose transaction was £250,000. Yes, that is one single transaction. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to find clients like that. Let's dive in. So when I first launched my business when I was 17 years old, my home staging business, I was just wanting to stage properties and really get some sales in. Now, when I first started, I had no dream client criteria or avatar. I just wanted to work with anyone who was willing to pay for my services. However, very early on in my business, I realized actually I'm not enjoying working with some of these clients. They're not my dream clients. So I realized I have to get a lot clearer on who it is that I'm attracting to work with. I realized that if I was working on these smaller transactions, it was going to make it a lot harder for me to really scale the business to £1 million plus. So I got very specific on who I wanted to work with. And funny enough, I started to attract those clients into my DMs and then ultimately into clients. But my real dream client that I'm always aiming to find are property investors and developers with blocks of apartments, which means higher transactions, a little bit more work, but these are the people that I want to work with. Now, when I got super specific on who that person is, I was able to find out where they were. My very first large installation was 10 apartments in Liverpool. I then attracted a 45 apartment development in London. And then ultimately the largest development that we have now staged was 169 apartments. So how do you find clients like this? I'm going to share with you the 3 steps how to do it. Let's dive in. I realized the first step in order to work with my dream clients wasn't going to write a client avatar profile, but it was actually to work on myself. Unfortunately, in business, that's where most of our work begins, is actually in the inner rather than the outer strategies. And I found that I just don't know if I was worthy of that dream client quite yet. I always relate it back to when I was listening to a relationship guru and they were talking about attracting your dream partner, whether that's a dream husband, wife, whatever that looks like for you. You would write a document of everything that you wanted in that person, you know, who they were, what their values were. But ultimately the question always came back to, am I who I need to be in order to actually be worthy of that person? And I found that so interesting to think about. I've written this dream man down on this piece of paper. Am I going to be his dream woman? Am I currently practicing the values I want to practice and have the mindset and the personal development of where I want to be? And it's very similar when you're looking at your ideal client, is developing the right mindset, but also developing patience. Now, I'm one of the most impatient people on this earth. It's why I built such a successful business at a young age, because I didn't want to wait till I was in my late 20s, 30s in order to achieve what I have. But when you're looking for that dream client, you must develop that little bit of patience and become worthy of the clients you want to attract. Now, how do you do that? First of all, I would say it's transitioning from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. First of all, believing that they are out there. Your dream client is out there. How do I know this? Because I've probably worked with so many of them, but there are so many more. It's why I run STAGERBOSS, because I believe there's space enough for every home staging company. But yeah, you need to develop that little bit of patience to know they are coming. It may just take a little bit of time. We need to build a brand that's worthy of serving clients with these larger developments, or whoever your dream client is. Now, when we put our messaging out in there to the world, we're very specific on who they are, they will come over time. So it's patience, the right mindset, and actually becoming worthy. Am I worthy of that dream client yet? And also, if they contacted me, would I be able to serve them at that highest level possible? And to be honest, that might happen before you're ready. So when I took on my very first larger installation of 10 apartments, I wasn't ready, but I knew that I could carry it out to a high level. I trusted in myself to do it. It was 10 apartments and I hustled my backside off to get there. Actually, I built like 70 dining chairs because I didn't have the team yet, but I knew I had to step up and start to serve my dream client, which was at my next level. Now, once you've got that mindset right, we need to get very clear on actually what is the type of client that's going to help me reach my goal. Now, I often talk about work out how many properties it is you need to stage each month or each year in order to reach that goal. Now, let's say that your goal per year is £2,000 per month in income, £24,000 per year. Now, how many properties do you need to stage in order to get there? So instead of chasing clients, let's chase the right clients with more properties. Let's break it down. You could find one client with 16 properties. You could find 2 clients with 8 properties, 3 clients with 5 to 6 properties, 4 clients with 4 properties. I could go on about this all day for no matter how many properties you need, but this is the mindset and the thought process that we have to get into. So think about what you're doing, who you're looking for in terms of number of properties that client has, rather than the number of clients you need. Because when we do it that way, the number of clients comes down, but our revenue increases. Don't click away. I'm about to walk you through a very quick visualization on how to find your ideal client that's going to make this even more crystal clear. But first of all, I want you to go to becomeastagerboss.com, where I go much more into detail on how to build a successful home staging business. The link is in the description, and we'll go on to point 3. Okay, so your dream client, you're now in the right mindset, you've got the right thought process behind who is it I want to work with. Now let's start to design that ideal client avatar and profile. Now I want to walk you through a quick visualization to be able to really imagine who this person is. Because the more we understand them, the more we can get in this person's head, use the language that they're already thinking through our content, the easier it's going to be in order to secure them as a client. Actually, when I say something to you that you're already thinking, you think I'm in your head and I get you more than anyone else. I've had so many messages in my time saying, oh my God, you are in my head, Liv. This is exactly what was on my mind. And it's because I understand my ideal client in every business that I own. This is one of the very first steps. I hone in on who this person is, what their aspirations are, what their struggles are, what their life is like, and why really at the core they're doing what they're doing. So let me walk you through this quick visualization of how to imagine who is this person so I can get into their mindset and I can ultimately attract them. So with your eyes closed for this visualization, stick with me. I'd love you to close your eyes and just take a deep breath in. Now, what I want to walk you through is a process to identify who is this person that I want to work with. So I want you to picture yourself in a completely white room. The walls are white, the floor is white, the ceiling is white, there's no windows, however, there's a white door at the other end of this room. Now you're standing there and your ideal client is going to enter through that door. And as they enter through that door, I want you to picture them. Who are they? Are they a male, a female? How do they enter that door with purpose? Are they shy? How do they enter and how do they start to approach you? Is their gait purposeful? Are they walking with ambition, with aggression? Are they really laid back? How are they approaching you? Now, as they approach you, we've already identified this person is your dream client. How do they greet you? Is it a warm handshake? Is it a business greeting that's very formal? Is it really laid back because you've already built a connection with this person? Now they're going to hand you a check, and that check is completely blank apart from your name. Now in this, you're going to decide how much is this ideal client paying you for your services, and what are they paying you for? Is this a smaller transaction for changing their family home, styling it for sale? Is it a check that has £1 million or dollars written on it because you're going to be staging their 200 block apartment? What is it that's written on that? How much is it for? And how does that feel to finally be handed that check for the dream installation, the dream project for the dream client? Now sit with that just for just a second. That is your dream client. And when I imagined this client, it just changed everything for me. My ideal client originally, the very first big client I got was that 45 apartment block, and that's what I was aiming for. When I got that email to say, let's go ahead, I could not believe it. It was like an outer body experience. And at that point I was like, well, do they have the finances? And over a few weeks, that £250,000, £250,000 transaction was deposited into my bank account. Now that felt amazing, and I've attracted more and more clients. So don't ever overlook really getting honed in, getting very specific and dialed in. Who do I want to work with? Because we want to build businesses we enjoy, and the main part of that is people. So if you have enjoyed this episode, if you're ready to go and get that dream client, then I have a free training for you at becomeastagerboss.com, where I share with you so much more in depth how to build a home staging business from zero, no startup funds, no experience, no portfolio, and attract those dream clients. So becomeastagerboss.com, and I will see you there.